Hold up. Every day I wake up.
Wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
Yep, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Jess Hilarious. DJ Envy is not here, but Loren LoRosa is. And, you know, every now and then here on The Breakfast Club, we like to give up-and-coming talent a shot. Mm-hmm. And today we have a man who is entering this industry and trying his hand at poetry. He goes by the name of Matthew. Was that McConaughey?
McConaughey.
McConaughey.
Oh, it's actually McConaughey.
McConaughey.
Rhymes with what would Madonna say?
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Good morning.
He's got a new book out, Poems and Prayers, available now. Most folks know you for movies. They know you for speeches. I don't know if they necessarily know you for poetry. What made you want to put your thoughts into poems and prayers instead of another book?
Yeah. So, I don't know, last few years, I started finding myself getting a little bit cynical. Meaning doubt was creeping in on me, on my own faith, belief in myself and, you know, mankind. I'm looking at the news, I'm looking at leadership, and I'm going like, all right. Seems the jackpot goes to the winner no matter if they lie, cheat, and steal to get it. Seems a lot of us are kicking the game-winning field goal and someone's moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
And, you know, are we ready to say, okay, that's how it is? And I think this doubt crept in on me. I started to say, well, maybe that's just how it is. That scared me. And then thankfully, it then pissed me off. I said, no, I'm not ready to wave the white flag here and concede and say that's the way things are going. So since I wasn't finding belief in reality and the evidence, I said, you know what? I'm going to go to dreams and ideals, poems, prayers, and say, you know, let's not forget that beginner's mind, McConaughey, and let's grab a hold of those ideals and try to make those a reality. And because, you know, that cynicism, I'd always swore to myself, you know, you're born, you're innocent, then you're naive, then you're skeptical because you learn some things and you're discerning and make some decisions. The next step, though, seems to be when we go over the cliff to being cynical.
Yeah.
Doubting people, not giving them the benefit of the doubt. You start doing that enough, you know what happens? You look in the mirror, you do the same damn thing with yourself.
Absolutely.
And so it's an early death. And so that's what I found myself getting. So I went to poems and prayers.
You said something earlier. You said, you know, people think that they're getting the jackpot here, right? But you got a poem in the book called The Other Day I Wrote God a Letter. And I feel like that's what you have to do. You have to return back to source because the jackpot probably isn't here. But we consider the jackpot.
It's a mortal one.
Exactly.
It's a talisman, or it's something that we bow down to, and we're sold it every day as being the chalice.
That's right.
Which I think we got to think longer, further, project further. Believing God or not, I think we got to do that. You know, because I'm talking about belief. For me, I'm working on my belief in God, but I think if anybody believes in their better self, their kids, or if you don't know what to believe in, I like to say, ask yourself who or what you die for. Start there. It's a good spot. Probably what you ought to be living more for. You know, double down on that bet. And but you know, as a believer myself in God, I've got a hunch, and I'm playing for trying to cross an immortal finish line more than just the ones that you can win right here.
That's right.
Now, was this book a passion project for you? Because you actually have a movie coming out on Friday, but you're instead promoting a book. Was this a passion project for you?
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, I wrote it because I was tired of looking at the evidence, and I didn't feel like writing another book like Green Lights, but this would be a sister of Green Lights. Yeah, I wrote it. It came out all of a sudden. It was at the same time. Hey, that's going to come out. You got a movie coming out, Lost Bus, at the same time. Well, why don't we parlay that situation, hit the road, talk about poems and prayers, do some shows, which I did my first show last night in Brooklyn, and at the same time, talk about the Lost Bus.
Did people snap after you did your poem in Brooklyn?
I don't think I had any snap.
Yeah, you got
wow.
people
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
What
I
did
don't
they do
know.
when you finished? Were they just quiet?
They stood and applauded. It was cool.
okay.
It was the first show to get it on its feet. I'm doing a little tour with this, and we did Brooklyn last night. And I go out and I give like an opening 25-minute sermon, setting the table. Then I invite a musical guest out, and they're playing scores underneath about 12 of the poems. Last night, John Bon Jovi came out. Going to Nashville today, and Lucas Nelson.
I don't like that little light flex you did. That's just nothing.
Right,
John Bon Jovi
yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
No, he did.
That's amazing.
No, John Bon Jovi came out, right? We jammed.
Yeah.
Going to Nashville tonight. Lucas Nelson, a friend of mine's coming out. Go to Tulsa from there, Zach Bryan's coming out. Go to L.A., John Mayer's coming out.
I don't know any of these people.
And then I returned to Austin.
Hello, John Mayer.
And my hometown, and John Batiste is coming with.
Yeah, up and comers.
Yeah. And they all said yeah. They all said yeah. And all I said was, can I get a couple of chords under the reeds, kind of underscore? And we'll see how they go. But last night, John Majovi did a hell of a lot more than put a couple of chords down. He wrote some songs.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was neat.
I read somewhere, tell me if this is true, at one point in time, because you're big on God now and your faith, you talk a lot about it, but you didn't believe in a God at one point?
I've had my years of not believing. I've had a couple of them that went on for probably 2 years where I was like, nope, self-reliance is it. I'm responsible for me. I'm not relying on any more fate and forgiveness and all that shit. It's about me. I got to be self-reliant. And I look back, I'm glad I did it, and they were very healthy for me. And when I came back to God, I heard God applauding, going, "Thank you for having your hands on the wheel. Thank you for having the courage to go. It is on you, because I got too many people relying on fate alone, and it is a combination." And I don't think that we self-reliance and faith usually are talked about. We can't. They butt heads, and I don't. My hunch is they don't. Is that it's both. It's free will and it's fate. And while, we do something, is it already written divinely? Maybe, but do we have something to do with it, and do we need to have our hands on the wheel with the choices we make? And they are up to us? I believe so as well.
So did you have faith and you lost it and got it back, or you never had it and then?
No, had it.
Okay.
Strong, but then also, questioning that. You grow up, it becomes sometimes it's a ritual. There's many sermons from my preacher on Sunday that I wouldn't listen to what he said. Yeah. But the ritual of getting up on Sunday morning, going to church, being reminded and being humbled that you're at most number 2 today, and then prayers before meals, that ritual, you get older, you start to question, well, okay, what did that mean? And I want it to be more than just ingrained in me, like getting married. I didn't want to ask Camilla to get married because it's the thing to do. I wanted to wait until I felt like, okay, no, that's a covenant I want to make with God and Camilla, and we want to go forward, and I want to take that adventure forward. So the same thing with faith. I've questioned it along the way, and I love philosophy, and I love science. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure with the Bible what to do with the burning bush, but there's a whole lot of ethics and ways to live and approach life and signpost in it that whether you're agnostic, whether you believe or not, there's a lot of great things to find in that book, as well as the Quran and many other books. So I've questioned my faith along the way in the existence of God.
What brought you back? Was it like a Mel Gibson's and Signs moment?
Sure, okay. So one time was quite literal.
Okay.
It was the lightning bolt in the middle of a blue sky summer that I'm like, what cloud did that come from?
Wow.
Where it shook my floor, where Mother Nature, God, or whatever reminded me, okay, just letting you know, glad you think it's all on you. I'm reminding you that you're just a little speck right now.
Was it an actual lightning bolt?
Actual, yeah. I was out in the middle of the desert. I had a microclimate cloud come over this little cabin. I was in the desert. This was on Mother's Day. It was 82 degrees at noon. And at 2 p.m., this cloud came over. It rained, it hailed, it snowed on me. In a 100-yard circumference around the cabin I was at, white snow 2 inches deep and lightning bolts.
What?
You felt the
on
snow
Mother's
in real
Day.
life? Like you were awake and you felt snow? Like this happened?
This is real. No, I was completely sober.
I was about to ask
I'm
you,
not saying,
ayahuasca,
what was you
no-
saying?
No, none of
Okay.
that. No. I was having my first cup of coffee watching this go down. And I then looked up and, as I said, walked to the edge. It was only around the cabin I was at. I went into town. Nobody. I was like, man, it snowed. Where was it? No, it didn't. It snowed. What are you talking about? And I'd taken pictures. And like, when's that from? I was like, that's today.
Wow.
And everyone was like, that's impossible. That couldn't have happened. I was like, it happened on top of me. And that was right at the time when I went out. And again, the lightning bolt at the time when I'm saying, I don't believe. Bam.
Wow.
And I went, oh, excuse me. Maybe I need to open
Okay, God,
myself
I
up
hear
here.
you.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you, And he was saying, just checking in on you, big boy. You thought you think
Word.
you got it going. I appreciate it, but don't get too big for your britches there, Pop.
Wow.
So I've had it that way. I've had it other times where just, look, I mean, you have You have your first child. Your wife has first child.
Yeah.
You want to talk about belief. Look at the birth.
Yeah.
And sit there. I'm going to hear and wail or cry, or hearing your doggone kids in the other room laughing together.
You see God in your woman. You see God in your wife. Like, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
How did you do? Talk about miracles.
That's right.
How did you do that? How do you have that ability?
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's all the people, I don't know if there's a better word for it. There's enough coincidences that happen where you're like, you know what, man? It was a mystery going forward, but now looking back, there's a science that adds up that I did not have anything to do with that choice.
Mm-hmm.
That happened, and I got grace enough times where I'm like, okay, I got nothing to do with that math. That wasn't my choice, and some things lined up in ways that were more than just coincidence to me. And I've had times where I've taken trips, when and off on my own, 25 days of my own, and around day 14, had certain revelations where, when that truth hits you at 4 a.m. solitude, it hits you soft as a butterfly, but with a lightning bolt as well. And been reminded of some things that, remember that truth. Even when you go back into the masses in the busy world, do not let go of that truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That's what inspired Truth Slave?
Yeah. She'll come and visit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you want more than just a fling with her, she'll stay in your bed all night, every day. You know what I mean?
He's talking about truth, y'all. Not okay. Yes.
Yeah. And she'll be there with you forever and hang out with you, your conscience and everything else, and she'll be a great friend. But she's tough. She's tough to live with because she'll call you on your shit.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Like, we got to be willing to look truth in the eyes and deal with that. Like, it's one thing I said this yesterday. It's like, integrity to me is being honest with yourself. Yeah. Honesty and truth is when is with other people, but actually having integrity is when you can be honest with yourself. Right. Yeah. And that's hard for some folks.
Yeah. It's been hard for me in my life sometimes. Mm-hmm. I mean, I talk about how I pray in here. I go through a Rolodex in my mind and, people I love and care about, and until I find an image of them when they're most themselves, not the happiest or saddest or emotional, just when they're kind of graceful, going, their light shining. Mm-hmm. I go through that, and the last person I get to before I end my prayers, I got to go through Rolodex of myself when I'm that way. And that can take a mighty long time.
That's right.
To find that image. And I've had many times where I'm looking in the mirror and I'm seeing another, and I got to sit there and hold my gaze until I can call myself on my bullshit, and put the facade down. And that can take a while to find that for me. But then I'm also happy to say I've had many days where I can look myself in the eye and go, yes, sir.
Yeah, speaking of that, how vulnerable did you have to be to not only write this book, but to share it?
Yeah, vulnerable is a funny word. I hadn't worked out my relationship with the definition of vulnerability yet. It doesn't feel, I've been told that though. I hear what you're saying, because I would send the same question, and I'm going, I don't know, is it really, I don't feel what's so vulnerable about it, because I believe it. Mm. So I don't feel like I'm exposing anything myself. If anything, I've had people go, wow, that's ballsy of you to talk about belief and grace and forgiveness in God and the way you're doing it in your position. I've heard that, but I don't feel like I'm being brave. I don't feel like I'm being like, oh my gosh, I'm really exposing myself. I mean, I think I'm talking a language that I know is true to me, and I'm hearing that it's true for others as well. Now, y'all know, Hollywood isn't the first one to talk about belief in religion or in God. You know what I mean? But I've had wonderful times out there with people that are believers that may not want to admit it publicly. Prayed with a bunch of them. I've got a lot of agnostic friends who do not believe, but we sit there and say our graces and thank you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. Someone's asked me that. Well, aren't you kind of afraid to do this since you're in Hollywood to go talk about God? I mean, isn't that kind of a taboo? No, I mean, it never was before for me, and I'm sure as heck isn't now. Mm-hmm. So I'm on my own spiritual journey trying to, this book was therapy for me. I'm in the middle of it. Going out last night and putting it on its feet and showing, sharing with people and engaging back and forth. I'm finding more connection with myself as well.
I'm sure.
Because I gotta strengthen my own belief. I want to.
Are you delivering people, like your friends that you're talking about that are in Hollywood that are might not have strong belief or whatever? Do you find yourself kind of bringing them to what you believe?
No, No, I'm not. That's not where I'm putting my sweat equity into conversion. I want to sit there and go. I do think there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, I'm just spiritual," and I think that's halfway there. I'm like, actually, I'm listening to what you're talking about. You're very religious, actually. The religion. I love going back to the root definitions of words. Religion comes from the Latin root legare, which means to bind together, and re means again. So that's unity. Now I hear a lot of people talking about unity is what I'm for. I'm not religious, but I'm for unity. I'm spiritual. I'm like, that's actually you. That's the definition of religion. So what I try to talk to people about and remind them is that I don't think religion's a problem. It's what man did with it along the way, and where it excluded so many, and where it became a business, and where the snake salesman came out, and you got reason to be skeptical of some people preaching some stuff and what they're selling. But don't throw religion out. Religion, I think life's religion. I think it's all religious. I do, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Throw religion out just because mankind bastardized it along the way.
I believe in being spiritual more than religious. I feel like people can get caught up in religion and they just do all the practices, or even get caught up in going to a place of worship every week. But you're really not tapped into the spirit. You're just doing things that you feel like you should do because that's what the religion calls for.
But don't you think the ritual, like mantras, monks, they repeat the same thing 6 times a day, and these psalms they get ingrained. Don't you think the ritual of that,
if it brings you back to spirit,
right?
If you're just saying like I'm going to church on Sunday just to make yourself feel better, it's like going to the gym and not really working out. You're taking a bunch of
checking
selfies.
out the mirror.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, sometimes it's the effort of just going, I don't have the connection, but I'm trying.
Word.
And I think there's a great Benedictine monk, Thomas Merton, that said, God, I believe that trying to please you pleases you. And that, sometimes I got to give it to myself, is a little amnesty to go, hey, man, you're trying. Me going through the doubts that I've got, to look at that instead of going, oh, what the hell, McConaughey, going, no, but it's part of the process, man. Keep trying, man. You're never going to, I don't know. Maybe I got a lot further to go. I mean, if you're going to have full faith, you're going to have full faith that you got to have full surrender.
Word.
Well, I ain't doing that. Not yet. I got some more humility to learn on that way, if that's where I can go, but I'm not there yet. To fully surrender?
Is it Hollywood keeping you from doing that? Because people side eye you, and do you ever feel any pushback for having first of all, putting out something so spiritual and just having faith?
I don't. If it's there, look, I don't know. Maybe I've been out there 35 years, and I understand. The community knows me. I know them. If I do, they're maybe saying it behind my back, but they ain't saying it to me. And they're usually much more open, I think, than they've been stereotyped to be. There's not a pushback. Now, like I said, a lot of people may not go out and say, I'm a believer, but they might want to keep that to themselves. Yeah. But they're not saying, dude, what are you doing? It's not like I'm going, well, we're not going to, let's not hire McConaughey let's not hang out with him because also, but I mean, I think they're very, very clear, and I think I've been clear with who I am. I'm not sitting there excluding those people from the table if they do not believe. I'm not. That's not my way. So I've never said to them, well, if you're not pray for this, then we can't have dinner together. No, it's not what I'm saying. No means to say that, nor do I want to. I'm saying come all to the table. And like I said, if you're not a believer in God, fine. So if you believe in science, go. If you're not a tyrant or nihilist, or you're not trying to harm people, whatever it is you believe in, double down on more of that. Science, philosophy, whatever it is.
What are like you talked about earlier, reflection and looking in the mirror and doing that while writing this book. What has been like the hardest time that you had to face yourself?
Ooh. Hardest time I've had to face myself. Well, the first one that comes to mind probably be 15 years ago. I was doing rom-coms, and I was the go-to guy in rom-coms, and I enjoyed them. But in my real life, I'd met Camilla, fall in love with her. She was now pregnant with our first child. And if you got kids, you know that's a real vital time. Life's
Yeah.
you know. And as a man, I don't think there's any time a man's more masculine than with the birth of a first child, or the heart, head, body, and loins are more aligned then than ever. So my life was very vital. My work felt like, I could get up and go do that tomorrow morning. It's easy. Nothing wrong with that, but I was looking for my work to challenge. Boy, could that be maybe as exciting and as vital as my life is? And mind you, I did look in the mirror and say, be damn glad, McConaughey, that you feel like your life is more vital than your work, not the other way around. But can we find some work that can be as vital as my life? So I wanted to do dramas. That's where the work I wanted to do. Hollywood says, no, sir, stay in your lane. I said, I'll take a pay cut. They said, no, don't care. Stay in your lane. So I said, all right, I can't do what I want to do. I'm going to stop doing what I've been doing. So went to Texas with Camilla. She's pregnant. We said, stepping out. Told my agent, no more rom-coms, da-da-da-da-da. I said, okay. And I remember Camilla and I saying, look, you don't know how long you're going to go without work. This could be a dry spell for a while.
You're like, where the money at, man?
I might have just wrote myself a one-way
Like
ticket
Camilla,
out
she
of
keep you
Hollywood.
focused. Like,
Right?
hey, where the money? What's happening? We got bills to pay.
Right? All right. We got real estate. I hear you. And I'm going, I hear you. Plus, I got to accomplish stuff for my own significance. And what am I going to do? I ain't going to go down and, start making chimes for a living. So I'm out of rom-coms. I'm not on the beach anymore shirtless, which kind of looked like I was in a rom-com in real life as well, right? And I got nothing coming in. My agent's like, man, I hadn't heard your name in 5 months, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Damn.
Yeah, so now we get into 12 months. We're a year no work. I'm starting to think maybe I did write myself a one-way ticket out of Hollywood. Maybe I need to look for a new vocation. Maybe I'm going to go back to law school, become a lawyer. Maybe I'll become a teacher. 18 months go by. Check this out. And I think you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. This rom-com action script comes in. $8 million offer. I read it. I said, no, thank you. They come back. $10 million offer. I said, no, thank you. They come back. $12 million offer. I said, no, thank you. They come back. $14.5 million offer. I said, let me read that thing again. So I opened it up. Same script as $8 million offer, but it was better. I could see myself making this work.
Did your wife know you was turning it down? She knew everything.
Yeah, she knew.
Oh, she thought you was bugging.
Now, my brothers thought I was bugging.
Okay.
My brothers were like, what is your major malfunction, little brother? But I had made the decision. And Camilla and I made the decision. It was non-negotiable. I wasn't going back. Anyway, I read it again. It was better, but I ultimately said no thank you. And I think that sent a signal after 18 months of being out of Hollywood that, McConaughey ain't bluffing. You know what I mean? I don't know what he's doing, but he's playing offense. He's turned down 14.5. That's not a receding move to do that. He's up to something. So you parlay that declining 14.5 along with 18 months, which turns to 20 months out of Hollywood, out of rom-coms, not in the theater, not in your living room. All of a sudden, well, you know who'd be a novel, kind of interesting, new, good idea for this drama? Killer Joe or Mud or Lincoln Lawyer? Dallas Buyers Club, True Detective, Magic Man. McConaughey.
Yeah.
Wow.
But only because I unbranded, because I was gone. I had to go get anonymous, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what type of prayers were you saying during that time? Because that's
Right.
a lot of money.
No, I needed
powerful.
to, I trust me, that the old bottle on the shelf started looking better earlier and earlier in the day, too. You know, I'd lost my work. Man's got to work for significance, and I didn't have it.
You got depressed?
No, I didn't get depressed. I didn't get depressed because, thankfully, I got a newborn. And the only thing I've ever wanted to be in life is father.
Yeah.
So anytime I focused on our son, Levi, as a newborn and a new life brought in, that really kept my compass grounded. It was, long days, without achieving some of my own stuff, but I had that as an anchor.
Man, that's such an incredible story because when I think about you going from rom-com to an Oscar-winning dramatic actor, I always wondered what was the pivot, or how did you know it was time to pivot? And just to know it was just an intentional decision to want to be taken serious was That's powerful.
That was it, and I had to step out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 20 months total that I was out. And trust me, like I said, I did think that I think I wrote myself a one-way ticket out of Hollywood.
What did that teach you about the power of intention?
That there's certain decisions, like that decision to do that hit me at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that the fact that I wasn't feeling alive in my work, the fact that it was paling in comparison to how wonderfully dramatic my life was, that was clear to me. That's what I needed to make a change. And it was a non-negotiable. So once those truths hit, as we were talking about earlier, and you go, I know that's true for me in my soul, but now I'm going to re-engage with the masses, and slowly that onion can get peeled, and you start to go, well, I can't, maybe I can, I didn't. It's very clear. It was like, no, I'm not going back on the idea. If nothing would have come at 20 months, I was not going to go back and do what I had done. I'd be doing something different. Gotcha. If nothing had come since then, I would be doing something different in my life right now. I was not going to go back. So the idea of not flinching once you made a decision, and you can out-endure a situation. And you can also seem to find after a while, like after kind of 15 months of nothing, from going out of my mind, all of a sudden you kind of start to get a little honor and charge and filled up with like the endurance of it. It's almost like, okay, the longer this goes, I got a hunch the reward on the other side is getting bigger with every day I'm going through this penance drought.
Wow.
I got a feeling that there's a bigger reward over there. I'm in this for the long game.
Yeah.
And, thankfully, it all came back around. I didn't have anything to do that besides being out of Hollywood, but the offers came in for the work I wanted to do. But making a decision, being clear on it, and then saying, as I know this, and projecting ahead. It's like COVID, all right? I think my family did pretty good in COVID, and one of the things I think was, when it came, we sat down, I told the kids, plan on this being this way for 10 years. What? Damn. So think it's going to be longer, and then when it's over in 4 years, you're like, oh, shit, I was rolling. I could have handled more.
Yeah.
Right? So I was thinking it could be worse than it was going to be. I was thinking that I may be in a drought and not get any offers for 5 years, and hell, I'm going to have to find something else to do. Well, luckily it comes in 2 years, and work came.
That's Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Like sometimes you just got to be still.
And hold it.
That's right.
And hold it. Sometimes you change by staying the same, and the world does this, and it comes right back to the baseline that you're on going, oh, you're brand new. And you're like, no, I've been right here.
That's right.
I just held. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So when you transitioned into drama, Matthew McConaughey, did any of your roles alter your perception of reality?
Did any of my roles alter my perception of reality? Well, I will say this. I kind of flipped the script. Remember earlier I was saying my life was so vital. My work was paling. The work got so vital that all of a sudden I was like, I had a little moment, where I was like, oh, my life's not as vital as my work. Okay. Oh, fiction, playing these other characters that are written, I'm kind of getting off to them more than I'm getting off to being me in the documentary that is my life. Wow. That scared me a little bit too, which is why I started writing and why I wrote Green Lights and why I'm writing Poems of Press. Been challenging myself for the last 6 years going, all right, you go act. You're doing someone else's script, written by somebody else, directed by someone else, lensed in a camera by someone else, and edited by someone else. That's 4 filters from your raw expression. So I was like, let's get rid of some filters here. And who are you in life, McConaughey, in this documentary where action has been called The Day You Were Born, and cut's going to be called The Day You Leave This Life? What are you doing live in this live show where the hands of time are recording it? And that's what I've been the last 6 years kind of challenging myself. So I go to a book. Now, there is one filter with the book because it's a written word. Yeah. The performance, right? There's no filter. That's direct to the audience. So it was one filter, but I wanted to see if the written word, and I could tell some personal stories that could be entertaining, that people could see themselves in, and then go look in the mirror and go, you did that. Good job, McConaughey, or, here's where you could have made it even more true or better. And I needed that. And so that's sort of a phase I'm in now, where I'm still doing work. Made Lost Bus, made another one called The Rivals of Amzai. And I tell you, I went back to, it's been 6 years since I've acted in a role. I, one, forgot how much I enjoyed it. And two, forgot how much it feels like a vacation. Because it's a singular focus. And I've been compartmentalizing more the last 6 years, taking on more different things, checking out leadership roles, writing books, family, et cetera. But the singular focus of going to act and going, I'm obsessed and all. I revere this craft enough to be obsessed with my man, this character. And every idle moment I've got work I can do to tell more of the truth on this character. And I give myself 3 months to do that. Sort of blinders.
Yeah. And
thank for my wife that when I go out the door every morning, she got the kids and says, don't look over your shoulder, go conquer. I got this shit handled. Big, big help. But I'm able to just singly focus when I go act. And I missed it. It felt like a vacation.
Why didn't the Yellowstone spinoff happen?
So we talked about it, Taylor and I. It never came to. I never saw a script. I wanted to see, what the idea was good. It just never got to script form. So Taylor and I continue to talk about what might be the best way to work together.
So you were attached to it, like it was actually going to happen? I remember that was the rumor.
Well, I mean, it came out, I'm always curious about this because it came out in my attachment, which I would never signed anything. There wasn't any real attachment. It was just Taylor and I creatively talking about it. It could be a good idea, right? But it was interesting because it came out in the news, in the trades, about the same time Costner's leaving. So I don't know if it was publicly put out there to sort of counterbalance. We got the exit of our guy, Costner, who we've all known, so let's make sure it looks like we've got somebody else coming in that we can be excited about. So there was never a contract or anything. It was just he and I talking about it.
And what about this Barbie sequel? Are you really going to be in the Barbie sequel?
Hell, man, I don't know. Someone came up with that the other day.
That's bullshit, too. Like, people just...
No, someone just, I think America Ferrera just, like, who's in Lost Bus with me, I think she mentioned it on some talk show going, you could be the King of Kens. And someone goes, King of Kens. I can put a font to that. Hey, let's put a picture up. All of a sudden, someone showed me something yesterday. I'm on some show, and I'm there in a white suit to King of Kens. That's as real as that is.
Would you do it?
I don't know. It sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah. It'd be good for the kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then with the Lost Bus, I saw that you, when your son, because he's in a movie with you.
Yeah, Levi.
Levi. You asked for his last name to be taken off when you submitted his casting video.
Yeah.
What was the dad decision to do that? Like,
right on. Yeah. So I pitched every, story of the script that a movie I'm going to do to the family. And this one has a son in it. My son comes to me and goes, hey, is your son cast yet? I said, no. He goes, how old is the kid in the script? I said, about your age. He says, can I read for it? And I went, kind of ignored him. I wanted to see some hustles. He's not just coming at me like this is a whim, right? Well, he kept badgering me. Finally, I go, okay, all right. So first of all, let's sit down. Let me talk to you about this acting gig. You don't show up with attitude. This ain't no modeling gig. This is a rodeo, man. You got to go with soul and no bullshit in your bones. All right, so just set the table of this is a serious craft. And then we talked for a couple of days, and then he said, I've got a scene I'd love to shoot. I pulled out my phone, shot him. I was like, okay, he holds the camera. All right, he can behave honestly in front of the camera. He can even improvise, did well. I send that to the casting director. I said, I think this might be good enough for a callback. She writes back, I think it might be good enough to send to the director. Wow. So, okay, great. Can you do me a favor and pull his last name? Because, forget nepotism. Just what if he got the job with my last name? Out of the gate.
You're at a bar.
Right?
Yeah.
Or he's got it thinking in his mind, did part of the reason I got that because my last name? Come on. That ain't good for him. That's why we didn't name him Matthew, so it would be Matthew Jr.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Although Levi is another name for Matthew. We got away with that.
Really?
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I never heard anybody say Matthew Jeans.
Levi.
That's what I'm saying. I never heard that.
Hey, Post Malone, get on that, will you?
Yeah.
You got your prayers in print, right?
Yeah.
How often do your prayers go unanswered? And do you still trust God in those seasons that they do?
Was there any such thing as an unanswered prayer? Meaning, if you don't get what you're praying for, isn't that still an answer sometimes?
Somebody gave you what you need, not what you wanted.
What you need, what you want, right? That's and It's funny sometimes what I hear people praying for, because you got blue collar prayers and you got white collar prayers. And you hear someone praying to, win that Oscar or get that yacht. You're going, man, hang on, but I think God's got better stuff to do, man. You talking about those white collar prayers? That ain't working. We got to talk about what do you need, not what you want. Now, I do think my definition of heaven on earth is where what you want is what you need, and what you need is what you want. Where what you actually need is what you desire. Where what you desire, what you're salacious for, what you lust for, is actually what you need, is actually worth loving. Hard place to get to, but boy, when we're in the pocket, I think that's when we're in the honey hole right there.
Some people will say, what could you still be praying for? Because you have the Oscar, you have the fame, you have the money, you've had
those
career.
Yeah, but I never prayed for any of those either.
Okay.
No way. I'd feel like a fraud praying for that. Again, I think that would be a white collar prayer, where God's going, I got real stuff to try and handle. You know what I mean? I pray for the health of my family. I pray for myself to be the type of father that can maintain a healthy family unit. I pray for to have the patience to sometimes be what I would call a better husband. I pray for the discernment to listen and try to make the choices that can feed me and my family and life going forward, to make decisions that will pay me back for the long term, for the long haul, and for the decisions that can pay me back also, where are those also the ones that can pay the most people back? That's the kind of things I pray for. I pray, and then my mom's 93, man.
Wow.
She's awesome, and she's rolling, and from the neck up, she's younger than that. We'll see how long the body holds up. But I pray for, and I don't even know if she feels like I need to pray for her. She's great. She's good, man. When she's ready to go, she goes tomorrow. She's good. You know what I mean? She's nothing sentimental about her. She can talk about death like right here in front of you, like you're talking about drinking water.
That's such a thing with older people. My grandmother's the same way.
It's like you're revolutionary when you're young, right? And then you get in your 30s and 40s and you start to go, some of that stuff mom and dad taught me was right, so I'm going to get a little more responsible. And then you get about 60 and whoop, they slip back. They don't give a shit about hurting anybody's feelings. Oh, they'll get over it. Yeah. And you're like my mom, the stuff she'll lie about, I went to her.
She's still lying at 93?
Oh, hell yeah. She's like, oh, yeah, you lie. I swear to it. So she starts telling, she's done some crazy stuff, man. She had this boyfriend after my dad died, and he was living at the house and stuff, and they've been dating for about a year and a half. And they lived out this country club out in Southwest Houston. And my brother Pat's playing golf one day, and these four older gentlemen on the other fairway call him over, go, hey, Pat, congratulations, man. And Pat's like, well, about what? And he goes, about your mom and CJ, the marriage. He's like, what? Hey, man. Oh, yeah, we all heard about it. So he goes home. Mom, what'd you do? What are you talking about? No, I just said you got married to CJ. Oh, that.
What?
Oh, wow.
So, what'd you do, Mom? Well, the monthly bills at the club are $400 if you're only partners, but they're $250 if you're married.
I know that's right.
Mom, come on. We dragged her down to the country club, made her get on the mic and tell everyone I was bullshit and I was lying. So she do stuff like that, right? And I'm like, Mom, you taught us.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Not to lie, blah, 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 blah. And I go, do you have anything, Mom? No one forgives themselves quicker than you. Do you have anything at the night, but do you Rolodex through your mind about things you may regret, things you want to change, etc.? She goes, oh, honey, I do. Every night, I got a list. It's probably 25 things long. I got regrets, things I'd change. Oh, things that I'm sorry for. She goes, but the thing is, when I wake up in the morning, I forgot them all. That's her. And she's not a shallow woman at all, but boy, does she move on and she doesn't really judge people. That's another thing about her. Yeah. She has zero stress. Anyway, that's my mom.
I didn't realize they told us to wrap 5 minutes ago. So my last question, if you could go back and talk to the version of yourself that first said, all right.
Yeah.
What would you tell that person?
Dazed and Confused, 1990. First scene I was ever in a movie.
Okay.
And tell you where it's from. I'm wasn't even supposed to work that night. I'd never acted before. I'd never been on screen. All right. So all of a sudden, I'm in this car getting a lavalier mic put on me, and the scene is I'm going to go try to pick up this redheaded intellectual who's played by Marissa Ribisi, and she's got nerds in the car, and I'm Wooderson who's hanging out at school, man. And I'm older, but I still like the high school girls. So pull up and pick her up. Nothing's written. Going to improvise this. Well, as I'm getting the mic put on me, I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Make sure you're acting with that line, because they'll take that out of context and put that on the internet.
That's Wooderson. And everything I'm about to say. You got to watch. Remember, us actors talking the first person from our characters. There's plenty of times through the day you could record what I'm saying and put me in jail. I'm going, no, I'm speaking through the POV of someone else, right?
Right.
All right. So Wooderson was a guy who was hanging out at the high schools. He was out, and he has the line. There's a great line written from there. Like, man, you gotta quit. Got to cut that out. Wooderson. He says, no, that's what I love about those high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age. So that was Wooderson.
Why would you didn't have to double down? We got it. The first time.
All right.
I bring up that line because people know that was Wooderson. All right. Anyway, so I'm sitting there nervous about this first scene. I'm starting to get a little anxious, and I'm like, who's my man? Who's Wooderson? Going through my head, who's my guy? And I go, well, Wooderson, man, loves my car. I said, boom, I'm in the 70 Chevelle, there's one. I said, Wooderson loves rock and roll. I said, boom, I got Ted Nugent's Stranglehold in the 8-track, there's two. I said, Wooderson loves to get high. I said, Slater's riding shotgun, he's always got a doobie rolled up. All of a sudden, I hear action. And as I hear action, I look up, put it in drive, and as I pull out to go do the fourth thing that Wooderson likes, he likes ladies.
Yes.
I say the three things, an affirmation for the three things that I do have. All right. Those were three affirmations. And that actually was based off of a live Doors concert, and Jim Morrison barks at the crowd, all right. And I'd listened to it, heard that 4 months earlier, and it, for whatever reason, my version of it 3 times came out that night.
So what would you tell that version of yourself?
Hey, you may think this is going to be a hobby where you got to have a fun weekend acting in Austin, Texas one summer in your life. Well, guess what, buddy? This is going to be more than a hobby. It's going to be a career, and you're going to end up loving it.
Wow. Matthew McConaughey.
I'm sorry. Real quick. Did you improv your role in, oh my God, the Leonardo DiCaprio?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. Was that improv, all of that?
Well, not all of it. No, but quite a bit was. Yeah. I mean, people ask about the chest beating. All right, that's something I'll do before scenes, and I've done many times before. It's a relaxation technique. Yeah. Get out of the head. Let's get in the rhythm.
Yes.
Let's get the blood flowing, and it's good because the whole crew's going, what was he doing? What's the weirdo? And it's nice to put myself in an underdog position so I can fight out of it, right? And then I was doing that before the scene. Yell action, I'd stop, we'd do the scene. We do the scene 5 times. We got it. Moving on. Great. Nailed it. Moving on. All of a sudden, Leonardo raises his hand and says, hey, Marty, hang on a second. He goes, what's that thing you're doing before? And I told him what I just told you. He goes, what if you did that in the scene? Next take is what you see on film.
I love it.
Wow. It's Matthew McConaughey, Poems and Prayers. Great conversation with you, brother.
Absolutely.
Poems and Prayers is out right now, man. Thank you for coming, brother.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
And The Lost Bus is in theaters Friday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
It's The Breakfast Club.
Hold up. Every day I wake up. Wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?